Some of the games that they're either maybe already published, that they might be bringing to Kickstarter, that they're looking to find publishers for, and then we're also kind of teaming up here. Tell us a little bit about Proto ATL.
Yeah, sure. I'm Andrew Smith, one of the co-hosts of Proto ATL. It's in Atlanta every year. We do a design, pitch, and network where people can come in, play test their games. They can also mingle, rub elbows with some of the industry professionals. A lot of publishers are looking to sign games at the event, and then just meet people, hang out in a really chill environment, play some up and coming games, and maybe take a shot at kind of getting into the more professional side of board games.
Yeah, next step. So hopefully some of these designers will make it there as well. Love to see their games on the tables at Proto ATL. Why don't we go check out what's on the table right now? Alright, so first up we're talking about Julio. Now Julio, you were with us maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A couple of your games have already been signed that you showed off during our previous pitch-a-thons. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Give us a really quick rundown of some of the games that you've already put together.
Oh, of course, yeah. My name is Juan Nazario. I'm the designer of Holy Festival of Colors from Floodgate Games.
Saw that one. It was great. Right here on the table.
Yes, and it's been on the convention as well.
Yeah.
A lot. And Control, CTRL from Pandasaurus
Yeah,
Games.
that's very cool. Alright, excellent. So what are we looking at right now?
So this one right here is called Dorsey.
Sounds
and
delicious.
This is a title coming from Stronghold Games later this year. And it's what I call a bingo style game.
Bingo style. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I played
so-
some of those that are great.
Yes, and it plays 2 to 4 players, but of course the more copies you have, the more people that can play.
Alright, like it.
And it plays in about 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
Like I said, it's bingo style. So everybody, what you're trying to do in Dorsey is that you're confectioners, okay? You're trying to make resources by planting different types of beans. All these beans, there's 4 of them. We've got cocoa, coffee, peanuts, and vanilla. Vanilla's actually a flower, but it's vanilla bean, right? So in this game, you have a deck of cards that goes from 1 to 24. Somebody shuffles it and calls out the number. These cards are multi-use. So one side, what can you do? You can plant your resources. You play it on your little board, which is your field, and you place your resources accordingly.
Okay. Immediately growing.
Immediately growing. Of course, everybody does this at the same time, simultaneous play.
Perfect.
What's the second thing you can do with your card on the other side? Is build a cafe.
Delicious to get.
And that's how you do that. You build them and you have different cafes throughout the game that you're making your sweets, of course. The other thing that you can do, well, is to harvest your crops and start making sweets.
Alright.
Now the cool thing about this game is that each resource has actually 3 levels in them.
Of growth? Do they grow? Is that what's happening?
No.
Oh, okay.
When you harvest them, they're a pure bean, right?
Okay, right.
As you use them, however, they make byproducts.
Gotcha.
So what that means is that if you use the coffee as a pure bean, one confectionery may use it as a pure bean, and once you use it, you give it to another confectionery to use as a ground bean.
What's happening? Great, I love it. Alright.
And of course, then that confectionery goes and uses as the butter part of it.
Okay.
So those are the 3 levels.
All right.
Pure bean, ground bean, and butter. And of course, you don't want to waste any of your resources. If you can't use the bean, you give it to your chickens, of course.
Okay, chicken love.
And the chicken goes forward that way. And then later on, you can use your chickens to make eggs and as a wild resource.
Perfect.
But essentially, that's the game.
Okay.
Throughout the game, you're going to be playing 20 rounds, and it's a crunchy engine game. As you can see, as you're building all these, you start hearing people mumbling, oh, we gotta do this and this and this and this, and then the game is over.
Perfect.
But that's just a quick overview of Dorsey.
Okay, so I think I understood the gist. The card is revealing bingo style.
Yeah.
How do we determine where to put it on our board?
Well, that's the thing. That's up to you. You decide where to do it, of
So
course.
walk me through a little strategy. I'm looking at what parts of the card. All 4 parts?
Yeah, so this side would be the
garden planting.
Yeah, the garden planting side, and this is the concession stand side. The way you do this is that you can play him anywhere on the board in any rotation.
Like covering up other resources?
You can. Of course, as you play, you can use them as well. But let's say I cover this with actually another coffee there, and that actually makes 2.
So I can overlap and now I'm producing. Oh, okay,
yes.
this overlap. Oh, okay.
Yes, of course you gotta overlap the same one to be able to make it.
Okay.
Now, of course, when you play these, the way it's represented, the levels of the resources is by rings. So as you can see, it may not show here too much, but there's 3 rings here. That means it's a level 3.
Okay, so is that butter or is that?
That's the pure bean.
Okay.
2 rings are then the ground and then the butter. So visually you can see how it changes, and that makes it easier for you to move them around.
Color. Talk to me about color. Why some blue? Why some green? Is that?
Well, this is just for the players.
Everybody's pulling it out.
Yeah, you're the green player, of course, the blue player, and there's 2 other players.
Excellent.
Yes, and of course the last one is you discard a card and you collect 1 row or column, and then that's how you assign them to make your points.
All right, very cool. So walk us through a little bit. The art looks really fantastic. Did you do the art? Who's doing the art for you?
No, that's at Stronghold Games.
Okay, so this is coming to Stronghold?
From
publishing,
Stronghold.
okay.
Publishing from Stronghold Games later this year.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done the art. The game is soon getting into production. I came here and did a couple of demos just
Is
to
this
get.
the first show off?
Yes, it is.
You heard
we got
it first,
an exclusive here. Yes, and it's been some good reception so far. We're really excited. There's a couple graphic design changes just to make it even easier for people to understand the game and play it. But we're really excited about it. So keep an eye out. Dorsey.
So where can they learn more? And where can we follow you at?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Hunasaru. Stronghold Games at Stronghold Games, and Indie Game Studios, Indie Boards and Cards. Those are the same company. And hopefully you'll see more from them. The game is not even on Board Game Geek yet.
Yeah, all right.
That's how much
Are
exclusive.
you going to be showing this off anywhere else? Where can we run into you at any cons? Where can we get an opportunity to play this at? We got to come to your house?
Maybe, actually. No, well, this is a growing year for me. I got a second baby on the way, so
congratulations.
Thank you. Announcement there, another exclusive.
What?
So maybe not as much as conventions, but definitely you'll see at the by other people, not necessarily me.
All right,
and they'll be testing it and demoing it and selling it.
Good stuff, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Nicholas and Daniel showing us Lukewarm. Is that all right? What do we got on in front of us here, boys?
Well, hello, I'm Nicholas Noosh. I'm Daniel Miller. And so our game, Lukewarm, is a 2 to 4 player asymmetric reverse hidden movement area control game meant for, basically you have a story here where you got a boy named Luke. He just wants to get home safe and warm. That's Lukewarm. And he wants to get across this board, going one space at a time, trying to get across the board to home. That's all he wants to do. But meanwhile, he's being attacked by these other characters here. We got the Sun and the Wind from Aesop's Fables. They're having a rematch. So they're trying to burn the ground down, put down different hot stones, different cold stones here that change the temperature of the board as it's going on.
And those are the different roles that each player can take. The asymmetry is those different roles there. So,
yes.
Okay, awesome.
And then you got the 3 bears. They just they lost their porridge. They're trying to invite a guest home for dinner, and they see that Luke would be perfect to have over. So there's someone who could be playing the bear character. They could be trying to move the bears around, trying to get the Luke character.
Okay, and you said something interesting, like right away, that kind of made me make a funny face. You said reverse hidden movement.
That's correct.
What does that mean? Because that sounds cool.
So while in most games of hidden movement, you have one person who's hiding while everyone else doesn't know where they are. In this game, the 3 players here, it could be 1 to 3 players playing these different roles, will basically see where Luke is the whole game as he's going across, but the Luke player is behind the screen here. Yeah, you can see for yourself.
Luke over here. Awesome.
And so he cannot see himself throughout the game. He has to listen for clues that the other players are giving. They can say, I'm putting down stones, or I'm going to rotate the board, for example, or I'm going to use one of my special powers, such as moving the bear piece around, freezing a wheel so it can't be moved, or putting down a warm marker, which basically is like a landmine. If he steps on it, it'll increase his temperature dramatically. Throughout the game, you can change the temperature up and down based on where he lands. So Luke has to listen to these clues. They might be saying things also throughout the game. There's a clue phase where they'll say you're getting warmer, you're getting colder, or you're getting very warm. Meaning,
Did you say very warm?
very warm,
Oh,
meaning
man.
you're getting very close to the hot bear.
I'm a sucker for good puns, and this seems like this is full of them.
Yes.
Awesome. And so you've got 3 rotating rings on here. with some territories that you're trying to navigate through, people influencing the different areas, and one character with very, very little information,
Oh, yes.
and 3 people trying to figure out a way to stop this guy.
That's correct.
Wow.
Luke can do certain moves such as asking to rotate a circle, so someone can do that for him. Someone can take stones off. He can say, the space right in front of me, take 2 hot stones off. If he's right, you take them off. If he's wrong, you just pretend he's right and don't tell him if he's wrong or not.
Clever.
And then at the end of all the rounds, you can take the screen off. He can see what happened. You apply the results as follows. If you got 2 hot, the sun wins. If you got 2 cold, because each of these moves is marker down on the temperature, then he gets frozen, the wind wins. Or if he's on just the right temperature and he lands on one of the bears eat him.
Oh, perfect. All right, and so looks like you got a lot of, like, a pretty cool prototype here, and you've got just some clever mechanics behind it. Are you guys still playtesting? Are you seeking publication? Are you guys going to Kickstarter? What's your plans for Lukewarm?
Our current plans are to go to Proto ATL and to try to pitch it there.
Awesome.
We were at the Boston Festival of Indie Games earlier, where we got a trophy for most innovative design. The only problem at the time was that the publisher was interested. We only had it as a 4-player only game at the time, and they said, "Can you change it to 2 to 4?" So we did, but they weren't interested at the time when we changed it. So we're just trying to find another publisher now.
Way to adapt and change it up so have a broader appeal, man. That's very cool. Lukewarm.
All right, up next I'm here with Michelle. We're looking at her game Biologique. Give us a walkthrough of what's on the table. Explain to us a little bit about how to play the game, and then I've got some questions I want to toss at you.
All right, awesome. So my name is Michelle Jones. I'm the sole designer of Biologique. It's a 2 to 4 player competitive resource management tile laying game.
Okay.
It goes for about 90 to 120 minutes.
Excellent.
And players are chemically intensive farmers. Each player has this kind of setup, and then this would be the main board.
Okay.
Changing their farm to organic.
Okay.
They start off with chemicals in their shed and toxins in their soil. And so what players do is they get rid of the chemicals in their shed by doing the organic necessary replacement. And then when a player does that, they can turn it into hazardous waste and get a bonus for turning that in. The way players clean up their toxins from their soil is they use a special cleanup tile. And once that's finished, a player can get points for that. And then they can get a bonus die. The dice in the game are the way players can get additional free resources, just like in farming when you get additional free resources.
Okay, yeah.
So the additional die is the only one that has crop tiles, so that kind of ramps up the game a little bit as that
So the
players start
speed
getting
up as you're playing through.
crops. Yeah. And then once players if they have clean plots on their field, they could start amending their plots with earthworms and compost.
And these are our player markers, I assume?
So these are
Earthworms?
player markers,
All
so
right.
they're used to keep score, or you have 2 additional ones because you can claim a contract once you're really getting your organic ways down. You can claim a contract to food school, organic food. So when players amend their soil, then they can plant their crops. And players also have private objectives, so some are in-game points and some bring you end-game bonuses. So the in-game points are cleaning the toxins from your shed, which you get points for that. Or there are private objectives that are organic farming methods. So for instance, this one would be rotate a crop with rotate a cover crop, a watermelon crop, and then you can claim points for that.
All right, so obviously we're talking about some pretty relevant topics.
Yes.
And we're talking about some educational opportunities as well. I know one of the popular things in a lot of games is to have some text that kind of explains some of those things. Do you have a background in this? Is this something you're interested in? Is this...
Yes, so I have a background in food biochemistry.
Okay, all right.
I'm extremely interested in organic farming.
Okay. Do you have a farm?
I don't, but
Not
I'm
yet.
a garden educator.
All right.
That's my day job.
Okay, excellent.
And then on every card, it gives a little tidbit about organic farming and why what you do is important. So there is that element to the game.
Very cool. So you have put this all together. You've been playtesting it obviously yourself.
Yes.
Hopefully getting some feedback from some players and things out there as well.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your plans. Are you thinking about Kickstarter? Are you thinking about publishing it? Are you looking to have pitch it to a publisher? What's on the horizon?
Yes, so I am looking for a publisher.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at.
Okay, yeah. So here, practicing the pitch, getting some opportunities,
Yes.
and then looking to be able to connect with some people to hopefully get it onto other people's tables.
Yes.
Oh, that's excellent.
Great.
All right. Can you tell us anything else? Is there anything like what's the like age range level? Is this something that kids are able to jump into really easy? Is it like?
Well, it could. I mean, I think it's like an older, maybe 12 plus.
Okay.
Of course, kids can always partner up with their parents because that's what we always did, have our kids partner up with us. So I think it also appeals to the crowd of the sustainability crowd and the recent trends of sustainable games coming out.
Yeah.
So.
Are we printing this on sustainable paper in the future? Is that
Hopefully, yes. I'm going to look for a publisher that loves doing that.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the handout, Michelle.
All right.
Really good
All right,
stuff.
great. Thank you.
All right, we're back here with Julio. Julio, you got, as always, some really awesome table presents in front of us here. Tell us what we got here, man.
Thank you, Andrew. So this is Bouncy Acorns. This is a dexterity game. Everybody loves a good dexterity game, but in this one, you are bouncing these little rubber acorns, and the reason why they call them acorns is because they're actually oddly shaped. They look like a die with a rounded edge. And what you do in this game is you just take one and you bounce it from the table and try to get it into one of these inner holes there.
Okay, so you got holes with different, looks like numbers next to them. What are
Yeah,
the
sizes and numbers. So the bigger sizes are easier to get into. Those are ones, and the inner ones are twos. And there's one up here that's a 5. Of course, that's really hard to do. And of course, with the odd shape of the acorns, it makes it really difficult. But you need those numbers essentially to climb up with your squirrels. That's the objective of the game. The objective is to get 3 of your colored squirrels to the top of the tree. Of course, if you can, you're going to try to knock down your opponent's squirrels while you're trying to do this as well, like so.
No squirrel is safe.
No squirrel is safe. And of course, here you're not even attached to anything. And this is the where you want them, but it's easy to knock out as well.
Okay, and so is this one at a time, all at the same time?
One at a time. That's on your turn. You just take and bounce an acorn. If you miss, you're the end of your turn, and this is the next person. It's pretty quick. There's like 40 acorns, so you play either until somebody wins or all the acorns run out, and you get points depending on how high your squirrels are if the acorns run out.
So super fast, super accessible. Pretty much anybody can play this.
And of course, you think something like this being so big, it doesn't even fit in the box, you'd be wrong, because of course it's just a quick little setup like that. Just disconnect it and put it in the box.
Get out of here, Andrew. You can't hug the crazy ones. I gotta do it one time. What's the? Is it
Go
better
for
to hit
5
on the
point?
round side? Or
On the round side,
strategy?
definitely better. Yeah.
Oh! That's gonna be my game.
So, you should have seen the squirrel there. That would have been.
I got to take a shot now, just
There you
because. Round side down.
Round side.
All right, here we go. Too
Okay.
much.
There you go.
All right, very cool, man.
That is Bouncy Acorns.